because you might hit an interdimensional being and it'll actually kidnap your ass and like tie your ass to a tree and throw rocks at you. Like
Oh,
I was like, no fucking way. And it's true. Like there's recorded deaths of people, and then there's recordings throughout history of even now too. She said there's even today there's still physical interaction with these beings with humans. Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chair. It's the Rise podcast. And today I got a special guest. She's a paranormal investigator. And I'm super excited to talk to you about this girl because she's going to be the new co host to the show underneath Flying Chairs umbrella. So thank you for joining me today.
yes, I am so excited to be your co-host. This is what I live for, is chatting it up with weirdos
And that's what we
like
do here.
myself. So
That's
let's
a
do it.
Let's do it. So again, where'd you grow up and how'd you get into the field of paranormal?
Oh, well, I grew up in Napa, New York. I actually lived on an old abandoned farmhouse. I essentially lived on a farm.
Okay.
My parents had like chickens and they grew vegetables and stuff. And the house I lived in was an old Victorian house, built in like the late 1800s.
Oh,
And it had a lot of really weird activity. I actually, this is actually the first time I'm probably talking to someone about it who isn't my family.
oh, okay. Wow,
Um,
I feel
I,
special.
I'm kind of, I'm kind of private about it actually, because it's weird and there are only certain people who would get it. Like you understand, and probably Laura would understand. But for the most part, as you know, the world sees us in a different light. And so we have to be careful about what we talk about to the general public if we don't want them thinking we're crazy. So this is probably the first time I'm openly talking about my experience at my house. So it was an old Victorian house. And I think my earliest memory of something very unusual happening was I remember eating popcorn off the floor, so I must have been pretty young. I was like eating popcorn off the floor, and then I heard my name, Krissy, being called from the corner. It was like a loud whisper. So I ran upstairs to go find my mom. And so I kept hearing my name being called. Um, so that that wasn't even that scary. Because I
Yeah.
once again the apparitions, like an apparition, by the way, is the gold standard in the paranormal community. If you see an apparition, that's gold, as you probably know.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can't really say I saw a full apparition. So my brother, when he was like a kid, he saw two naked people sitting on the edge of his bed. It was a
Oh,
man and a woman and they were naked.
oh, dang.
And then they turned around and looked at him.
Ménage à trois.
Yeah, yeah, that must have been their old bedroom or something, my brother's room.
Wow,
So
that's weird
yeah,
and scary.
yeah, that was a little freaky. Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
so one of the things I remember is I would be lying in bed and I would hear footsteps. Footsteps are so clear and so obvious. We're
Sure.
bipedal creatures, and there are only a few bipedal creatures on the planet, like birds, or sometimes I guess apes could be, but I don't think there's an ape in my attic.
No.
So not in New York, at least. So I would hear like very clear. footsteps. And I would just look up at the ceiling and I would be like, that's a footstep. And it just keeps going. Like someone's walking in my attic. And I just couldn't sleep. And it would eventually stop.
So it's just like that's off and on. You'd hear these footsteps.
Yeah,
That's fucked
in my
up.
attic. Yeah, it was really fucked up. And everyone would be asleep. Like, like squirrels have a very certain sound, like
Yes.
squirrels, rodents, they have a very specific sound. So there's just, I can't think of anything else it could have been. Um, my mother actually, she saw an apparition as well.
Oh
Um,
shit.
yeah.
In the
So
same house.
yeah, in the same house. So she was taking a nap and she had a dream about like an old dirt road. She kept having like dreams about old dirt roads and then a little boy like chanting or singing like a marching song going
Hmm.
down a dirt road and playing. And she woke up and she felt like someone was staring at her. And she turned around and she saw like an apparition. She said it looked like kind of see-through, kind of formed, almost like a dust or like a smoke.
Okay.
And it was of a little, it looked like a little boy. And then he seemed shocked that she saw him. And then he like stepped back and then just vanished.
Huh. I be running.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
One I actually have more for you.
no,
So,
please go.
so my personal experience was how, I don't, do you have siblings?
I have a sibling. Yes.
You have a sibling.
Yeah.
You know how when you're a kid and your mom tells you it's bedtime, you're suddenly like, it's party time, and then you're bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the state we were in. We
Okay.
were like, party time, and we were like jumping off the bed and like making jokes and running around. So I have two siblings, an older sister and a younger brother.
Okay.
So my sister, she actually slept in the same room as me. My brother was in our room, just, messing around, having fun. Um, and we, for the longest time, heard like three taps on the window, and it would just be like, this is the most common theme of this haunting was three taps on a window.
Ooh.
Um, and an old Victorian, we had like a ton of windows,
Hmm.
like randomly at night, and it would be on the glass. So we heard the three taps suddenly. We all looked over and I saw not a full apparition, but it was a hand and a wrist. And
Oh
it looked like
shit.
bluish,
Huh.
bluish see-through, like almost as though it was like a concentrated smoke that formed a hand,
Weird.
if that makes sense.
Right. Huh.
But you're
So
the only person I've ever told
no,
this
that's awesome. No, again, I'm just trying to think, how does an apparition, does it use dust around it, or does it like how much energy does it take to like get itself seen? And you ever heard of the stone tape theory? You ever heard of that?
to. No, I
It's
haven't.
the theory about how ghosts kind of like get trapped in like a room or a certain place where you only get the hauntings, but it's not like itself the ghost is in its room. It's just like a recording of like, so say if I died in the room and my soul just goes through the wall, and that's where it's kind of like imprinted on the wall. So like when someone else comes in, they can activate to seeing this little glimpse of my maybe like last moments or like last that's why they call it stone tape theory, because it's like the stone walls or just the walls itself record um the phenomenon, or like our spirits going up and away, or or if it's
Right.
trapped in this room, I'd be just, that'd be insane. you know that'd be a life. And then it makes you wonder too, do you get the choice of wandering the earth, or do you get to travel the stars, or is there an afterlife? It makes you wonder, like, and there's even like the theory that extraterrestrials are very interested in our souls, because then themselves don't have souls, because
Right.
a lot of them are depicted not very expressionless. very, very expressionist yesterday. And yeah, just really weird theories about like when we die, our souls go to the moon and get harvested by aliens. Who
Oh my
knows?
God.
I hope that's not the case either, because that sounds like hell.
That's so grim.
And then you're learning the truth at the same time. It's like, damn, I was right the whole time. But shit, this is crazy. This
Wait,
hurts.
Dustin, how do we know that aliens don't have souls?
We don't know that. I just thought it's just a theory of mine and others that if an extraterrestrial race saw that this planet has a soul that actually reincarnates in itself
Right.
back to Earth in different forms or different people, it's just kind of like I think any extraterrestrial race would find that intriguing and be like, let's stop
Oh,
here for a minute
absolutely.
and see what's up with And then there's this. I'm very about the ancient astronaut theory myself. Just how you know ancient astronauts came here in the remote past and help us civilization start and how
Well,
we
that makes a lot of sense because
yeah
they say that's how the pyramids were made. And how did they do this? They had to have had help,
yeah
right? And it's just one of the biggest mysteries of
yeah
life.
again, what healthy slave are you whipping on the back to drag 80-ton
Oh my
boulders
God.
across different terrains 20 miles and then
Right.
and
Like,
then
there's no way.
you look in their toolbox and you see like dental floss and chicken bones and you're like, what the fuck is really going on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's just no way. I do think they had help.
Oh yeah, they did.
Um,
And then they stitched it. They wrote it on the walls too, of these multiple gods coming down, teaching them, giving them technology to use. Yeah,
right.
it's so weird. And yeah,
Very interesting.
there's tons of shit here. Even here in the United States, here in Wisconsin, we have ancient um we actually have pyramids here at Aztalan. It's like 30 miles away from Madison, where I'm at. But no, it's gigantic pyramids that look like the Aztec built them. Like
That's crazy.
they're mounds, but like they're stacked like how the Aztec would be built. And they're
Was
gigantic.
anything drawn in them?
No, but they're the very mysterious part about these people. They came from afar because the Native Americans in the area said these people came from somewhere else or were dressed differently. Some practiced elongated skulls and they even
Oh,
practiced cannibalism. They would wage war with other Indians, and they built this gigantic city with this gigantic wall to keep these pyramids in. And then one day they just dropped everything and disappear out of thin air. Like there's no sign of sickness, no war. And there's actually
right.
the UW does digs there with the students. It's still digging up bones and pottery and arrowheads and a bunch of shit. And they never teach this shit in high school. And I was like, what?
No,
This is right in our backyard, and I think that's pretty important, especially when it's still very mysterious about a lot of this stuff here. And
yeah.
then
They don't teach them.
no, and then like 5 miles away from there, there's Rock Lake at Lake Mills, and that has 10 gigantic pyramids on the bottom of Rock Lake. And I think the first settlers came here and they were poking out of the water and they were asking the Native Americans what they were. And then they said that they're like the stone teepees from the ancient cultures that they don't even know much about because they're underwater.
Oh my God.
It's like that's before the
Yeah.
ice age. So again,
It's
there's a
really
lot of rich
fascinating.
ancient history here in Wisconsin, and I'm pretty
In
sure New York
Wisconsin,
must
right.
have some spots too.
Probably. I haven't really looked into it. I'm not as well versed in the UFO stuff as you,
Sure,
but I am
sure,
very interested. And if you give me a topic, I am very happy to research
sure. And
and
then
come back.
that recent video that you posted on Facebook,
Yeah.
were you and your friends where was that? What
So right now we're investigating Pottersville, which is actually a ghost town. It's mostly been torn down by the state. I think it was torn down in 2000 around that time. Um, Pottersville was a town, a very small town with a very dark history. There were a lot of murders there. I guess a guy murdered his whole family and then killed himself. There was a serial killer there. A lot of people died. I guess the whole town just vanished one day. It's kind of a strange place, I have to say, from the couple of times that I've been there so far. We're all drained of energy, and there's a lot of on the ghost box, a lot of talk about Satanism,
Oh,
satanic. They'll say, please bless us. They'll say, run, get away from here. I felt like a choking sensation just because the day before yesterday, we did an investigation there. We're thinking about going back at night, but there's a pretty freaky area where there's just a bunch of uprooted trees for no reason. I don't know, there was just flooding in just that one specific area, but there's a ridiculous amount of uprooted trees. And the second you walk in there, you get like a choking sensation.
oh
I got
shit.
like a choking sensation. And
Oh man.
then the EMF reader was going crazy. The spirits were coming through saying, please bless us with the holy water that Laura had.
Whoa.
Um, they're saying satanic over and over. It was like kind of freaky.
I was gonna ask you, yeah, what tools do you use? You use the spirit box, and what else did you use? Did you just say?
Well, so the spirit box is really useful. Essentially, the whole idea behind this is the spirits can are using like EMF, electromagnetic fields, to manipulate devices. In fact, I walked out of there. My phone was jacked up when I walked out of there. I couldn't text anyone. Some spirit did something to my phone. I couldn't text anyone. The audio was messed up. This is the first time my phone has glitched like that. I got it back to normal eventually. I couldn't restart it. So that's what spirits will do. They'll drain batteries. They will mess with your devices. So anything with electromagnetic field, they will mess with. So you can use a ghost box, which is a radio. It uses like AM and FM, and then it has white noise, and it just scans
Right.
and you can pick up voices or you can use those devices on your phone. I don't see a difference because no matter what, the spirit's going to use EMF to fuck with your devices and
Yeah.
manipulate them.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've never been out ghost hunting myself, and
You
I have
should.
a few I have I know I should. I have a few friends that tell me they work with like the spirit balls. You've seen those?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The cat balls that you just leave out and
Yeah.
they'll light them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we've used
Do you use
those.
those? Okay.
Laura
Yeah.
has a bunch of them. Yeah.
Cool. So I was at the Chicago's Paranormal Convention over the summer, and I was presenting and showcasing the Colonel Wendell Stevens photographs. That
Nice.
was really cool. And I was sharing a booth with Barnaby Jones from uh, Wisconsin Caps, and he's awesome. Thank you again for letting me share that booth with him because I was right across from MUFON. That was kind of perfect because MUFON's the largest UFO organization in the United States,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I
Who is
thought and when
that?
yeah, so the director of Illinois was there, and Barnaby's like, you should go talk to that dude. I'm like, all right. So I brought him this the photo album of Colonel Wendell Stevens, and his eyes were bugging out of his head, and his like all his colleagues are all hunched over, and they're like going through the pages, and like they're just so captivated, and like, how the fuck did you get this? And like told them my story and stuff. And yeah, like I exchanged phone numbers with the guys, wanted to keep in touch, and it was really cool. I was like, again, this felt really, again, knowing that I had something really hot, knowing that other experts were looking at it. And yeah, when I left the table, another guy was there for, I guess, another 20 minutes. He came back to me. He's like, man, they were still talking about you for like a good 15 minutes. I'm like, what?
It's been such a special moment for you, Dustin.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So again, it just kind of, all the doors are opening. But again, these photographs are my golden ticket, so I really have to give them credit for that. But again, this the common interest of the subject is really cool, and getting into all these people who are into ghosts, Bigfoot, and UFOs, and yeah, it's just so cool just to meet like-minded people and being like treated like a little rock star.
You are a rock
I kind of
star.
missed the rock star scene because I used to be in a band called Birdseye, and it's
Oh,
a
cool.
like an indie rock hip hop band, and I was the lead MC. I'm a rapper, believe it or not.
I've seen some of your stuff. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. No, I like so this podcast and doing stuff like this has brought back to life that music was giving me. So yeah. So thank you again for joining me for this conversation and joining this crew.
Well, like I said, this is what I live for is talking to people like myself. I think putting it out there, it takes a certain level of insanity to really find the truth. And that's why I say, we're just a bunch of weirdos and we have to find each other because most of the world is just stuck in the matrix and we are really out here finding out the truth.
Yeah. No, I
So,
totally agree with you.
it takes balls and it takes a certain healthy amount of insanity to really go there.
That and yeah, just doing all the booking and getting all this stuff together is kind
Yeah.
of tedious amongst
Oh, I
the
bet.
research and meeting all these people. Yeah, and just taking it all in too. It's just like, where do I take my ideas next? And I don't know. Just I'm just having so much fun doing this. No wonder Howard Stern just couldn't stop what he was doing.
You
Right.
are very comparative to Howard Stern, and I love it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Um, yeah. So, do you have any other upcoming investigations, or like, is there any places that you want to go investigate yourself that you haven't got a chance to do yet, or do you want to travel outside of New York and
I would
investigate
love
some other
to.
states? Yeah.
I would love to. I would love to. Really, we're good for East Coast right now.
Hmm.
But so we're going to continue Lundy's Road, and we're probably going. There's so much in the area. There's so much craziness in the area.
Cool.
However, I did want to talk to you about the Shanley Hotel. The Shanley Hotel is actually in Napanoch, where I grew up.
Oh,
Um, it's insane. It's actually super famous. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll find a ton of stuff.
okay.
Um, so that's actually mainly where I have investigated, and it's one of the places I would like to go next.
Okay.
I was hooked up with a couple of people from Duchess Paranormal
Okay.
back, God, 10 years ago. I had a kid, so I didn't want to bring anything home to him. So I kind of cut out ghost hunting for a while. So you
Sure.
you have caught me in the infancy of getting this all together. Again, you caught me right in time. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, so I investigated the Shanley Hotel back 10 plus years ago. Sal Nicosia. Sal was the owner back when I investigated. He has since passed away. The
Oh,
new owner, and I think her name is Kelly. But I can tell you some stories from that place if you
yeah,
would like.
please. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so the Shanley Hotel has kind of a rich history. It was a bordello, or they had a bordello, which is, do you know what a bordello is? It's prostitutes. It's a
Oh,
whorehouse.
oh, a
Yeah.
brothel.
A brothel. There you go.
Yeah.
Had a brothel upstairs and back. They have a separate
Okay.
section.
All
Right
right.
underneath that is the gentlemen's quarters. So the guys would play cards and then they would go upstairs for some fun. And that was God, I think in like the 20s or so. In the years of Prohibition, they had like there were like I guess they had like a bar or alcohol. I don't know what they did there. I think I heard something about like underground tunnels or something. But so there are like I guess 17 ghosts there or so, but I spoke with a medium who said there's actually a portal there. So
Oh,
a lot of new spirits get funneled into the place regularly, go in and out. But there are 17 people who just stick around there.
okay.
Um, I've met a
Oh.
couple of them. Um, Joe, there's a guy named Joe. I guess he used to be part of the mob or something. So he's on the third floor, which is kind of dangerous. Like the third floor was not well kept when I went. Like the floors were falling apart and everything. I don't know if they redid it or what, but I people weren't allowed up there. I did get to go up there because I was like in with the paranormal crowd. So I love Joe. He'll tell you to go fuck yourself. Like he's so feisty. Yeah, he was really exciting.
That's fucking awesome. And that's weird that seven stayed around. Maybe it'd be a
Well,
reason why.
17,
Or
17.
17. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
17. Hmm.
But
Well, it makes you wonder. I don't know.
well, I actually so you can stay overnight now, but obviously you have to like pay. I can't remember how much it is to stay overnight. It's kind of expensive, but worth it. But my bed shook pretty fiercely one night. Um, I also got a couple of really good EVPs there. Electronic voice phenomenon is when you are talking
Right,
and you have a recorder with you. And you can't hear it in the moment, but later on when you listen to the recording, you hear a voice coming
right.
through in
Yeah.
response. So one of the EVPs I got, I was walking up to the second floor and I smelled really strong men's cologne. And
Hmm.
I was like, who's wearing the cologne? And I just moved on. Later on, when I listened to the recording, it was a male voice and he was saying, me, Krissy, it was me. Very clearly, clear as day. Amazing. That place is amazing.
Especially he says your name.
Oh, well, I always introduce myself. I say, hey, everyone, my name's Krissy. How are you? Like, you gotta be cordial.
Okay. Christy.
Krissy,
Well,
yeah, I'm Krissy.
no, again, that's I think some of the places that we go, like especially the women, if you go into some of the places like military boats or military places where women are not supposed to be, they get like they get the biggest hits, you know?
Oh
Like
my gosh, yes. Well, that is actually how it is in the gentlemen's quarters because women were not
um,
allowed in the gentlemen's quarters. So a lot of
okay,
the time they'll get a little pissed off. If you're a female and you're in there and they're
right.
trying to play cards or whatever, they're gonna be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And we have a place here in Wisconsin, in Madison actually, at the off of is it Atwood Street. There's a bar called the Ohio, and it's supposed to be very haunted, where it's had a
Ooh,
long history of weird phenomenon since the 1920s, where there's like weird multiple suicides and weird fires that occurred, and then there's in the bar area apparently bar stools get flipped and uh, bottles be thrown off the shelves and other weird shit. And apparently, I think there's a few ghost hunter shows that actually went there and did a few episodes of that place. Yeah, Wisconsin's got a rich history of haunted houses and serial killers like Ed Gein and Jeffrey Dahmer.
wait, was that? Oh my God. Some dark history there.
Very dark history here in Wisconsin. And we,
Dahmer is my favorite serial killer.
yeah, he's gnarly, isn't he?
Oh my God. Oh my God. The interview, the infamous interview.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you've watched it, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
That was really intense. That really
Yes.
got to me.
Yeah, it's
Um,
insane. And the fact that he was very open towards the end, I feel like he had to get everything off his chest to get his
I
conscience
know,
cleared.
I know.
Uh man, just the fact that his puberty was intermingled with um is it necrophiliac
Right.
and yeah, it's just sad how his mind was twisted in that way. I mean, I don't know, I
Very.
mean, not like purposely, obviously, but like just like how it totally unfolded into a mind because his mom was like a drug addict too and alcoholic and left his dad and he's all alone half the time and just not knowing what the hell he was doing with himself and questioning his sexuality and
Right.
yeah, what a fucking rabbit hole, right?
I know. I know. I I feel this strange, like I almost feel bad for him, and I don't know why I feel bad for him.
Sure,
He comes across like so gentle in his demeanor, and
sure.
the fact that he was so candid in the interview, and he just laid it all out there.
Yeah, yeah,
And that is what you mentioned, his puberty being intertwined with the necrophilia.
yeah,
It's just the most disturbing part for me how that came together.
yeah, yeah. Again, a lot of these
Anyway, we're
killers,
getting
that's
off
how it
track
started
anyway.
out. A lot of serial killers are necrophiliacs, you know, it's really
Oh,
kind of weird. Like the
yeah,
who else is it? Well, I don't know if Gacy, well, maybe Gacy might have had
Gacy,
sex with
I
his
don't,
dead. I have no idea. He never really confessed to any of those murders. It was like Oh, there's 15 kids in my basement. Those weren't
Oh,
mine.
I
I didn't do
hate
that.
him so much. He was enraged that those cops were looking for those kids. He was like, "This is an inconvenience."
Yeah.
He did not care. His last words were "kiss my ass."
Yeah. Yeah. He was pretty
I hate
gnarly.
him.
And then well, Ed Gein was not really a serial killer, but he was just he killed two people, but he was more of a grave robber, and he just went and robbed a bunch of graves and made macabre objects out of them, like skull soup bowls and nipple belts and
Really?
lampshade, skin human lampshade, yeah, everything.
I don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about that guy.
You don't know about Ed Gein?
No.
Oh, girl, he's in Platteville. No, not Platteville. Jesus Christ, Plainsville, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And he yeah, he was just this wacky guy that just he was obsessed with his mother that died, and he just went nuts after she died, where he just like made a shrine out of her room, and then the whole house went like a hoarder like a hoarder's house,
Oh,
but it had like human bones and human body parts everywhere just because he was
oh
going out
God.
looking for the freshest graves. But yeah, he murdered two women in that small town because he wanted some real fresh bodies, and I guess the cops found that fresh body hanging upside down like a deer that was gutted.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
and he spent the last of his days here in Madison, where I'm at, in the mental institution, and
Oh, a lot of those
yeah,
places are closed. Is it open or is it
yeah,
closed?
it's
Is
still
it used
open,
as
still
something? Is it
activated.
used
Yeah.
as really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it used for?
Uh, yeah, for mental people,
Wait,
mental.
still?
Oh yeah, still.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because a lot of those places did close down
sure.
um in like the 70s or whatever, when we did away with a lot of the mental institutions. We started
Sure,
moving away from that.
sure,
A lot of those people were so mistreated.
sure. Well, I think what's happening inside the building has been a lot different. What's happening in the 70s. Yeah.
Oh,
Now
yes, I'm
I
sure.
seen I seen a documentary in the 70s of what they were doing to those kids. Man, holy fuck.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
insane and sad. And yeah, again, you don't know what to do. Or yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty sick what we used to do to people.
Yeah. Think of back in the
Oh,
medieval times. Holy fuck.
oh my God, let's not get into that.
They're saying they look at you like it's a witch. She made herself look absolutely gorgeous. And it's the 1700s here. What the fuck?
Literally, I just have teeth.
Yeah, my chef teeth. Yeah. That'd be the best reason to burn you at the stake. That's amazing.
Uh,
uh but yeah, so you said you're starting a YouTube channel, and did it take off yet, or is it still on its
yes.
work? Okay,
Well, so like I said, you have caught me in the very infancy of this. We
sure.
just got together. We're planning a night investigation, and then I have to get all the data together. Like
Yeah,
for instance, some pretty weird stuff has already happened. Like for instance, a couple of days ago, we started our walk onto Lundy's Road into Pottersville. And Amanda, my new teammate, she stepped on something and she looked down and she was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" She picked up a large knife and it looked fresh. It looked like a fresh knife. And she was like, I lost this. This is my knife. It's a Winchester." And she was like, "I lost this 8 or 9 years ago in the fork in the road." And we were like, "Are you sure it's the same knife?" And she was
yeah,
like, "Yeah,
right.
yeah, this is my knife that I lost 8 or 9 years ago." We looked and she lost it like ahead of the path. So there's no way. I mean, it's been 8 or 9 years.
That's weird.
Uh,
And no rust or nothing on it. This clean
no
knife.
rust or anything. It looked pristine,
Weird.
like it had been kept in another realm for 9 years.
Whoa.
And
I believe
Dustin,
in that. I believe in that type of
yeah,
shit where something falls into a portal and type shit.
yes, this is
Yeah.
not uncommon though. If you live in a haunted house, because this used to happen in my childhood, if you put something in the same spot every day and you know exactly where it is and you know you didn't misplace it, it'll just go missing.
Huh.
Stuff just goes missing. And then you'll find it weeks or months later, you'll find it in the spot you thought it should be. Things just vanish into the other realm or something. I don't know what they do with it.
I talked to a woman that was born in Iceland, and Iceland has an interesting phenomenon where half of Iceland population believes that there's a hidden people or slash elves that live kind of outskirts of Iceland, and they come in and out through these portals that are interdimensional. And they're for real. Like the government even takes it seriously. They won't even check this out. They won't even fucking build roads or move rocks on the island unless they get the permission of the elves, of the hidden people.
No,
So I don't know, someone has to write a note and go to like stick it into a bottle and put it into a rock or some shit. I
that's
don't know
creepy. Like, yeah, like how do they get the note from the elves?
Oh, check this out. And then like if they like disobey, like say if the elves didn't answer back, or they just started making the roads or started moving rocks, people have died, people have gotten sick, they break machinery, they like
My
they
goodness.
snap shit in half, and and they'll like they'll move the rocks right back where you took them at. So that's
Oh
why the
my
government is
God.
actually like, okay, this is some shit.
When the government starts taking things seriously, yeah, it's made it to some new level.
uh my mind was blown. I just did not know about this in Iceland. And like they even like tell newcomers and tourists not to throw rocks because you might hit an interdimensional being and they'll actually kidnap your ass and like tie your ass to a tree and throw rocks at you. Like
Oh,
I was like, no fucking way. And it's true. Like there's recorded deaths of people, and then there's recordings throughout history of even now too. She said there's even today there's still physical interaction with these beings, with humans on the island, and have sexual relationships. And some of these people actually go to their side and don't come back, and they just
what?
disappear. They
And they
said this
have
life
sex
is
with
over. This
people
life is
here?
better over this motherfucker. Huh?
They have sex with people here?
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah.
like? Has there been any mention?
Oh, yeah. The woman I was talking to, she didn't have sex with them, but she's heard stories of modern sexual relationships with some of these. And that's not like it's not like uncommon within like the UFO community, with having sexual relationships with ETs. They're human like with the blonde hair, blue eyes,
Yeah.
Nordic like. There's a famous case in Sydney, Australia. His name is Peter Curry, and he was in bed around 7 a.m. In the morning, and he noticed that a cat, it felt like a cat jumped onto his bed. And he's like, I don't want a cat. He opens his eyes and he knows he's being straddled by a milky white, blonde haired, white haired actually, woman with big breasts. And he's like, what the fuck is, it's like panic mode. And then he noticed there's another naked woman sitting on the bed next to him or behind her. And he's like, what the, how'd you guys get in here? And he starts to get up and she cups the back of his head and pulls him into her breast. And he gets in panic mode where he couldn't breathe and he's being smothered and he bites down on her to get her off.
Yeah.
And he gets a little flesh in his mouth, and he said he had like this reaction of like burning, and he's like coughing and coughing, and he starts hearing voices in his head that he's doing this wrong, he's something went wrong. And then they just like disappeared out of thin air. And after that,
Wow.
he noticed that he had a boner for like 6 hours that was excruciating. Then he
Makes
noticed there
sense.
was something wrapped around his cock, and it was like, say if you stuck your fingernail and it's like it leaves a little indent on your skin.
Yeah.
He tweezers where he like unraveled this hair, and when he unraveled his hair off his cock, his boner was relieved immediately. And he's like, "Whoa!" And
Wow.
he took this to scientists, and they were mind blown. They're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And there's this like all race of humans where like DNA was on that, like Chinese to like Mongoloids to like the, the fucking, like, uh, it is some shit. They were so blown away. So this guy has the holy grail of DNA of an alien, but
Okay, that's crazy.
there's a breeding program going on with these ETs. You know, like the fallen angels and the Bible stories of mating with women and or men too, or the hell.
Right.
But yeah, again, so that's an amazing story.
That is so amazing. I have to read more about that.
Peter
That's super
Curry.
cool.
I'm trying to get him on my
Peter Curry.
podcast. I think that'd be great. I think he's
Oh
dating
my
a
God, wait.
super. I think he's dating a supermodel
He sounds like an interesting fellow. I would love to co-host on that one.
now. Let's hear about this hair wrapped around your cock. Yeah, I don't know. Makes you wonder. I feel like Earth is the Disneyland of the galaxy, you know, where there's just so much shit happening here,
Well,
from
there's a
ghosts to
lot.
Bigfoot. You know, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. This could be a beacon for like out there for shit's crazy. Come here if you want to check it
You
out and
know,
study us. And
maybe it
yeah,
only seems crazy because we don't understand enough about it.
it's true.
I
It's true.
mean, we think we know so much, but we really don't know enough. Um, I mean, if there
Just like
are,
our
if,
oceans.
right, right. What's even going on in the deep ocean? Does anyone know? Um, the fact that like I know that aliens probably are checking us out, okay? Because even the Air Force has footage now that they're releasing to the public saying, yeah, we acknowledge that there are UFOs, basically, which is crazy. Like 20, 30 years ago, we never would have imagined that that would be a thing. Um,
Yeah,
but if they are checking us out, there's a high probability that they have the technology, that they're probably very highly intelligent if they have the technology to come see us. If they are, I don't know if they would necessarily see us in the same light. I mean, they might see us as little ants, right?
yeah.
And
Hmm.
by our own laws on this planet, we deem animals as nothing, as little things we can play with or test on.
Right.
And by our own laws, we should be totally okay with aliens testing on us because we are nowhere near as intelligent as they are.
True. Or we could be the alien race that crash landed here millions of years ago that, you know, lost all the technology after we, you know, crash landed here and fought wars with each other because some dumbass landed here.
Right, right. That's true. That's true. I have heard that there are possibly aliens amongst us.
Yes. And it looked just like you and me. Probably more like you. To be honest. Jesus.
Well, I mean, if they can look like whatever they want to look like to manipulate a situation, they would do that. They
That's true.
would most definitely. And if they have the technology to come here, they probably do have some sort of a holographic technology, something where they can look like whatever they want to look like.
Well, that's what the reptilians, this alien race, they're known for doing that, cloaking themselves in any form they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I believe there's we have these human like ETs, straight up blonde hair, blue eyes, or just kind of like Lord of the Ring elves type, like
Can we interview one of them? That would be
yeah, it'd
fun.
be really cool. Maybe. Uh yeah, no, again, I'm excited to have your friend. How'd you meet your friend that we're gonna interview or I'm
Laura,
gonna interview? Yeah. How'd you guys
Laura.
meet? Yeah.
Well, I think I friend requested her on Facebook because she just seemed like my type of person. She's very high frequency,
Yeah.
which she's just a very like there's just love kind of coming from her. I feel very comfortable with her. So I friend requested her and we got to talking
Yeah.
and we have so much in common. So her tarot, as we were speaking about earlier, her tarot readings are amazing. She's Phoenix Rising Tarot on
Oh, cool.
TikTok, if anyone wanted to check her out. So as I was saying about her earlier, there's like something divine speaking through her when she does tarot reading for you. So like we were talking about, like you could be on a date with a girl and you want to kind of get the vibes of what's going on. So, and you don't really know what's going on. So if you go to Laura and you talk to her, she'll lay it all out for you. And she'll be like, this girl is feeling this way about you. And she's thinking this, and this is the future action she plans on taking. And sure enough, months will go by and that girl will use those exact words to you. She'll speak those exact words to you. It is wild. And like I said, I have to sneak her readings with cash now, like a drug addiction, because she really is so talented.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I might get a reading from her because
You
again,
should.
I it's been a while and I like to know where my love life is going in the future.
You should definitely get
Something
a
down the
reading.
turnpike, I hope. But
Yeah,
no,
she's awesome.
no, that's really cool. And she lives in the same area as you?
Oh yeah, she lives like God, maybe 10 minutes from me.
Oh,
She's
that's
very cool.
hilarious.
It's
Okay.
so rare to
That
find
is
that.
rare.
Usually, you
It
live in
is.
Wisconsin,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Well, you're
find
like,
someone
well,
close.
you're like 10, 11 hours away, right?
Probably about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
not that bad.
Not too bad. No. Um, yeah, I was gonna say too. Oh, I was gonna say, I haven't had a personal experience with ghosts, but my dad has. I should tell you this interesting story. I think you might find it interesting. He was like 10 years old with his cousin that's around the same age as him, and they were waiting at the house because their grandfather was in the hospital dying, and they're just waiting to hear back from his mom what the news was. And yeah, eventually he died, and then got a phone call from mom saying, yeah, he passed and we're gonna be home soon. And he's like, okay, blah, blah. And after they hung up the phone, him and his cousin straight up here in the workshop of grandpa's in the basement, the saw and the fucking hammering of whatever project he was trying to finish before he left. But it scared him so much, him and his cousin so much, they were in the other room crying and screaming until the parents got there. I mean, they're scared the fuck out of them enough. So
Oh,
again, it's like makes you wonder too, does it do we have a choice to break this? Again, does our soul have no choice but go up and do something, or do we have a choice right
right.
when we die? Hey, I'm here. I still kind of like want to watch my friends and family grow up, or be envious.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, my dad too damn early.
It's interesting. I think one of the reasons why people get stuck here, a lot of it is emotion. For instance, say you have a young child here and you're like, I can't leave. Or a lot of them
Mm,
are confused. I heard a story about a woman who was on a motorcycle and she turned too fast.
mm.
She messed up somehow. She hit a truck. And she died and she didn't know what had even happened. She wasn't even aware that she was dead.
Okay,
So I think a lot of the times it's confusion or just you feel
sure.
so emotionally tied and you just can't leave. And you're supposed to go towards the light, right? And
Yes.
sometimes you just can't and
S-
you just kind of get
s-
stuck.
Speaking of the lights, I am like a big fan of Poltergeist, and I think they did their fucking
God,
homework
yeah.
so good, where it like brought upon some evil shit upon that set. That fucking it's like a curse on that movie. People died, weird diseases,
No,
weird fires on set. You didn't know this?
I somehow didn't know that.
Oh, girl. Yeah, the main girl, that little Carol Ann. She died of this rare disease at a young age after the third movie she made with Poltergeist. And then the Native American guy in the second movie died right after the movie. And then weird things on set happen. Like just again, I like those tag along spirits. I feel like those people who did their mad research and just brought some bad juju back over
Oh, yeah.
on set, you know what I'm saying? Uh
Oh,
and it because
definitely.
that movie impacted, I think, every investigator or anybody's that's in that loves the paranormal. Like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the movie to get you like in there. And then like
Yeah.
even the
It's a good one.
mediums too, like how like that medium saved that girl by like, figuring out how to do it, and like,
Oh, that was so cool.
oh, she's they couldn't pick the better medium, right?
Right.
Yeah, the short woman with the high pitched voice. Oh man, that was awesome.
That's a good movie. You know, in terms of poltergeist activity, so poltergeist is I think like German, right? I think it means noisy ghost.
Hmm.
My personal opinion on poltergeist activity is that it's actually it's connected to the person. They say that with a lot of teenagers and stuff, if you have like an angsty teenager in the house, you'll get a lot of more poltergeist activity. Or if you have a
Oh, okay,
troubled teen in the house,
sure.
or if you're very angry, um, I think it's actually a form of telekinesis, but I think it's misguided telekinesis.
Ooh.
Um, you know, your electromagnetic field is really what's affecting the world around you. And I
Hmm.
think, for instance, say you've had like a really bad time in your life where you're depressed, you're angry, you have all this stuff built up. I think sometimes that can come out and affect the world around you. And I think that, just my personal opinion on poltergeist activity,
Hmm.
is that it has to do, it's more revolving around a person than an actual spirit or ghost.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Again, I not don't know much about all
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but no, it is amazing how I think all this stuff has some kind of connection with everything. It goes to Bigfoot to UFOs.
Oh,
Because even
absolutely.
like even like the Bigfoot sightings, you even talk about seeing lights in the sky or seeing orbs before and after seeing Bigfoot. That's kind of some weird
Mhm.
shit too. I was like, hmm. And then
That is interesting.
we have a place too called Burlington, Wisconsin. We have
Okay.
a place where this woman takes people on tours, go to the woods in certain areas where you take pictures, and the pictures turn out all swirly, and you have like double, vision and orbs coming in and out. It's really,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like this weird vortex or weird spot in the forest that this weird energy. I don't know if the Native Americans were harnessing it, and that's like even like Pet Cemetery is another great one.
Oh my
Like
God. Yeah.
fucking with Native American burial mounds,
Yes.
like shit.
That's
You don't
bad
fuck around with
karma.
that.
Everyone knows that's bad karma.
Yeah, yeah. And like I feel like yeah, the Native Americans had tons of those for the white men to stumble upon for the the curse
Right.
on them, as they should. But no, it's weird. We have tons of Indian mountains here in Wisconsin. Uh, we
Oh,
have we have this one guy. It's called the Man Mound out in Baraboo, Wisconsin. It's this
yeah.
gigantic. It looks like an astronaut to me. He's this very bulbous suit looking, and there's other like four depictions of this. If I can find a picture really quick, I'm searching while I'm talking. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, he's this. Yeah, it looks like an astronaut, like an alien thing. But even
Yeah.
in like the plaque that's there, because I went to visit this thing too. Here it is. They even talk it's like a powerful Indian god that they're worshiping, and it's only seen from the sky. And then back in the
Oh,
19
wow.
from the 1920s, they built a road, and they noticed it after they built the road, they noticed there was an Indian mountain. They're like, oh fuck. And there were four other ones that are like same size and same shape. They got destroyed by making houses and other shit. But
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, I just love how like even they mention here powerful Indian god. I'm
Oh
like,
my
that's an
God.
astronaut, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
especially
for sure.
especially if they're trying to entice it from being seen from the sky, right? Like what else are
Right.
you trying to entice from like to be seen from the sky? I
That's like
don't
the
know.
crop circles. Like, what's your opinion on the crop circles?
Yeah, that's well, they've been around for a long time since like the 1700s. They called them like the mowing devils.
Yeah.
They were happening in the pastures. Yeah, I think it could be used for their use for like when they're coming in, like map out where certain things are. Here's certain
Makes sense.
materials, or I don't know if it necessarily for us,
Right.
It could be, or there's people who go to these craft circles to do meditations, and they say there's health benefits going to these crop circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, again, very mysterious. And then a lot of these crop circles are made from these orbs that come. I seen footage of these orbs that just come and do zigzag, and then these crops just the crop circles just appear. And then
That
there's,
part, they actually have footage of that?
yeah, bro,
Wow.
you and me had to sit down and just go through some shit.
Oh, we do.
I'll have to catch you up to speed.
Yeah, you gotta catch me up to speed, man.
Yeah, no. Again, I dabble into everything, but mainly UFOs. But like, I like to just go into everything. So I'm learning more and more with the ghosts, with like people I've had on the show, and like you. It's
Yeah,
gonna be nice to know more and learn more, and yeah. And who knows?
same,
I might to go venture out to New York and do some ghost hunting with you.
Oh, that would be so
It
fun.
would be awesome. I never been to New York, the concrete jungle. Just going
Yeah, the city is
Spider Man.
fun. There's a lot to do in the city. I live about an hour, a little over an hour from the city, upstate. And there's a lot to do in the Hudson
Sure.
Valley. There's a ton to do as well. It's beautiful here. But it would be cool
Oh, that'd be
to
awesome.
visit or to visit Wisconsin. That would
Oh
be
yeah,
super
you're
fun.
again. My house is always open to you. So yeah, it'd be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, again, I think just traveling, and again, I went to Chicago over the summer. I haven't been to Chicago in like 10 years. There's like
yeah.
there's no reason really.
Yeah.
Like the pot's still expensive down there. Legally or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Just don't have any really friends, any reason to go. But besides that convention got me to go, I was like, man, definitely need to go again, because it's cool to see the big skyscrapers, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but Milwaukee here in Wisconsin too has a huge haunted scene. Um,
Oh
there's a
my God, I
guy
gotta
named
visit.
Yeah, there's a guy named Jack who does the conventions down in Chicago. Actually comes to Milwaukee and does some tours and takes people to some of the hot spots. And there's another woman here, KJ, that does some of the once a month we do these UFO slash ghost Bigfoot gatherings where we just have like-minded people to get together. That's like what you kind of want to do, like just get people
Yeah.
together and network with each other, and there's people who are just interested in seeing stuff that we have like merchandise, and we have like our podcast that we just like to promote, and yeah, we just get down and just crack jokes, and just meet new people, and we do this at all different bars around Madison. So once a month we have this new bar that just opened up. It's called the Gamma Ray, and it's a UFO theme bar. It's like fucking
Like
perfect.
they open it just for you.
It's just for me. And
Oh,
no, it's
wow.
awesome. So we've done one there already, and we're gonna do one again soon. It's really cool because actually in the back they have a stage where they actually have other people that do live podcasts back there, and even do shows with bands and stuff. So yeah, we got four people that we network with, um that we just like get together, like, well, through text together. We have this group text, and we just
Yeah.
networking, and which the next bar we're going to go to, and who's going to bring what, and how we promote our stuff. And again, it's so cool to find like-minded people. Again, I don't have too many friends. A lot of my friends moved away, and a lot of my friends have families. I'm
Yeah.
by myself, and I had like basically make another reality for myself, so I have people to talk to like you. So there we are. And no, it's just, you're right. It's a small circle of people who really take this stuff seriously and like to go out to the field, right? It's one thing to
Right.
talk with somebody about this stuff. It only goes so far, but it's actually, we're like a few miles away from the spot. Let's just go.
Yeah.
It's actually, let's take equipment and like actually try to channel something to come in and talk to us, and like
Exactly.
just get that. And that's like, it's fun for us, it's not too many people find that fun. I find that fun.
Oh my God. Yes. Because once you see it and feel it and
Yes.
for yourself, then there's no going back. You just
No.
become more and more curious and you have to know the truth.
Yes.
It's
Because
addictive.
Yeah, no, I think it's very addictive to find out the fuck we came from. Yeah, I think I wake up every goddamn morning just like, where the fuck? How the fuck? What the fuck? Fuck you, evil. Throwing holy water every which way.
Every morning, I wake up saying "fuck you, evil," and I throw holy water over my shoulder.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. Did you do anything fun over the summer, like vacation wise? Did you go out and do anything?
We just went to Jersey. Like, we didn't do much. I am gonna get away, like by myself. I'm going to Florida because I don't know if you've ever been to New York, but the winters here freaking suck.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Florida without without my family.
Oh my God. You give your
Um,
husband a heart attack. He's hoping for more
literally,
hurricanes. I bet you his ass. It's like
oh my
hurricane
God,
after hurricane.
no.
There's gonna be nothing there for you to go to.
Listen, you might be right. I'm a little nervous. I, I have a booking for Fort Lauderdale mid-January, and I'm
Uh,
like, I'm
that is
hoping my
amazing.
hotel's gonna be there for me. Oh God.
Oh,
Um,
oh, that's hilarious. Well, I hope
we'll see.
I hope your dreams do come true that you could travel alone and have some fun. But no, it's so cool. I
Yeah,
only
it's
been
super.
to Pensacola, Florida. That's the furthest
Oh,
I've been. Yeah,
well, like Florida is great. In the summer, it's a little too humid, and
sure.
sticky,
It
but in
was.
the winter, it's just what you need.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
winters in Wisconsin?
You know what? They have been getting better and better and better every year because of, I think, global warming. It's
I
happening
know,
here.
same for New York. I'm like, maybe I won't have to leave this place.
No, because I feel like maybe Wisconsin's going to be the new Florida in 10 years.
Yeah,
No,
that's funny.
no, last year and the year before that, the snow was very light.
Barely any.
Yeah, barely any. We had the grass majority of the year. It's nice. It was really,
I know.
yeah.
I like it too.
No, I totally get you if just to get the sun and the atmosphere, especially if, yeah, I don't know what your neighborhood looks like. If it's totally concrete jungle there, it's just like, or if it's just like swamped with people all the time, where you're just like, I want to see some old people. Fuck y'all.
I like a close-knit neighborhood because back in the old Victorian haunted house, it
Mhm.
was a little creepy. It's creepy in the middle of nowhere, living in a haunted house. It's a little creepy.
It is
I
very
like
creepy.
to feel like I have people around me now.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Get the right people around us. Uh,
Yeah.
this is a little off topic, but I just found out yesterday in the news that a guy that I worked with for 22 years committed first degree homicide.
No.
Some dude he must have known or something, but yeah, he's
Wait,
locked up. And he's got a
did
million
you
dollar bond too.
did you have a sense that he was off or anything?
Oh yeah. I didn't like that
Oh,
motherfucker. I
yeah.
did not
What
talk
did
to
he
him for the 22 years of working there.
what threw him off? Like, what sense did you get from him?
Oh, he's just creepy. He's just he's an older dude and he's just skinny, scraggly. His back looks like a question mark. He's just like a
Back
he looks
like he has spinal
like a,
issues? Like,
a Batman villain or some shit.
oh, no.
No, but it just yeah, he's not well liked. He's just an asshole and I
Okay.
don't know, just bad news. So I had some Schadenfreude when I heard the news.
So you knew he was off.
Oh yeah, he was
Was
creepy.
he really
And thank
quiet?
God he didn't like do like a shooting at our workplace. That could have
Oh my
definitely happened
God, for
with
real.
that guy. He was a loose cannon, apparently.
Jesus Christ. That's
I don't
kind
know
of
if that guy
creepy.
he killed must have like said something that really pissed him off because I don't know, man. First degree homicide. I mean, it's almost
Yeah,
intentional, right?
right.
He might
That's
have even
pretty
planned that out in
scary.
his journal. He was just like, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker tomorrow.
I have certainly met people like that where I'm like, is this
Oh,
their
sure.
serial killer? Like, you just kind of get a sense when someone's real off.
Oh, well, girl, I can't imagine what
No.
people have you met that like you definitely
Yeah,
had a feeling for like, oh, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I have met some
And
very
you have
interesting
I bet
people.
you're a magnet to that.
I
That's horrible.
am.
It's a double-edged sword you have going there.
I love meeting people. Even if
Yeah,
you're like Dahmer, I will sit down with you and
sure.
just ask you questions because I'm so curious about
You are.
people and what makes them tick, you know?
Yeah, that's so awesome. And that's why you would make a great co-host to this podcast.
I'm
So
so excited.
no, that's so awesome. I'm so excited. And then, yeah, I don't know. Um, do you have any pets? I was gonna
Well,
mention, I'm sorry,
I have a dog. Her
a
name
dog,
is Pepsi. She
Pepsi.
is, yes,
That's
she is
awesome.
a lab pit mix. She's
Cool.
very sweet.
That's
And
awesome.
I don't know if you know this, but when you have animals, they actually can watch, they can see spirits.
That's
Um,
exactly what I was trying to get
yeah,
myself into.
my current house is not haunted.
Okay.
Um, but back in the day, we had a couple of cats and a dog. Literally, the whole room full of animals would be sitting there staring at the same spot simultaneously. Nothing was there, not a bug, nothing
Huh.
to my naked eye. But the animals could see it and they were all
Sure.
simultaneously looking at the same spot. It's freaky. That's how you know. That's how you
Right.
know you have a spirit in your
Well,
house.
yeah, I know that dogs can like see like auras around people, or they see or yeah, the ghost. Again, they see something, they'd be staring at it. I think even
Right.
Poltergeist even mentioned that where the dog is like interacting with the ghost, like up. um,
Yes.
no, I was gonna say mention the cats too. I think cats are very important, especially the Egyptians worshiped the cats, and
Yeah,
the cats were
they
very
did.
important to them. And I think maybe sensing death when death was coming. A lot, even like nursing homes have that, where the cats are very known to know something's up when death is around the corner, so they come and comfort the person that's about to die,
Oh yeah.
or even the cats itself, like their eyes. That's not natural in the animal kingdom at all. Even their
Yeah.
ancestors don't even have slit eyes like the lions and tigers and other big cats. And then they hiss like snakes.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
makes me
Cats are
wonder,
really
like,
unique creatures.
kind of
Uh,
mysterious.
yeah, they are very mysterious. And the fact that the Egyptians worshipped them, I always thought that was very interesting.
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
said to to get rid of evil spirits or ward them off. That's what they're said to do.
Right. And I heard there's a theory too where even the witches are known to have the cats to harness their bad energy to kind of keep their bad energy at bay.
Oh,
That's where the
interesting.
little black cat came involved
Right.
with
That's
the
why the witches always have the cats around.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. This world is twisted. And
This
then
world
we
is very
have
interesting.
I was gonna talk about go back to the woman I was talking to about living in Iceland. The
Yeah.
mermaids too. I even mentioned, does mermaids even get involved? Because it's being an island, you think
Yeah.
having these other mystical interdimensional beings, you think the mermaids would be, but yeah, she said too, the mermaids would come and pop up with the sailors. She was talking about like people who were on their boats seeing them too. I was like, fuck. Sounds like, I don't know, like Neverland or some shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard a little bit about
Peter
the
Pan and
mermaids
shit.
too. I don't know a lot about it. I have to do my research, but I've heard a little bit about how mermaids are real.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, we don't know what the fuck is on the bottom of our oceans, right?
We
We only
don't.
know
What is going
10%
on in the deep
of what's
ocean?
going
No one
on.
knows.
Yes. They could be alien bases on the bottom of there since the dawn of time. And they've just
There
been,
absolutely could be.
yeah. And like even the octopus, that could have been like panspermia, where that creature could have came from an asteroid because there's no record of its ancestors here on Earth. And
The
then it's so,
octopus?
yeah, you didn't know that?
I am so freaked out by octopus because they're so intelligent too.
Yeah, it's insane. And they can squeeze their body through almost a little crook
Yeah.
and cranny.
And they can open jars. And
Jars.
some people theorize that they could take over the world if they wanted to.
Yeah,
They're super smart.
yeah,
They could be plotting against us.
yeah.
They probably
But
are.
yeah, again, like this other weird creatures, and I talked about the coelacanth. that's like a prehistoric fish that died off with the dinosaurs, but still is living and breeding today.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. There's like all kinds of prehistoric stuff down there.
Hmm.
It's been fairly preserved.
Yeah. And then it makes you wonder too, it does like the megalodon still there? Like, man, it'd be
Probably.
so fucking terrifying.
So sorry.
I'm like good about not going to the ocean. I don't need this. There's nothing good down there. We had some
Yeah.
billionaires go down there in a submarine and get crushed, for God's sake.
Typical.
Yeah. So
But I would not. I would
uh
not be caught dead down there. I want
true.
nothing to do with the deep ocean.
Hmm. Maybe Diddy has a hidden base down there. So what
Oh,
do you think about
I
the Diddy?
wouldn't put it past him.
So what do you think about the Diddy case? I'm pretty sure
I
you have.
don't, so I mean, he's a freak, is what I'm getting. I don't really watch the news. I don't really watch the news. I just hear what I hear from social media.
Oh God.
You might have to keep me up. Give me like a summary of the
Okay.
whole thing.
Well, yeah, he was like a kingpin doing this was it racketeering to extortion. Then he was having these crazy wild sex parties that it seems like everybody and that was a celebrity is a fucking swinger. I mean, they might as well be.
Yeah,
Like, why
you
would
might as
you
well.
be married and be truthful to whoever the fuck? But yeah, so apparently there's these after parties where each room had some more hardcore than the others, probably pissing and shitting on each other one, and some
No,
other
that's
one
the
with
one thing I would never
multiple
do.
penetrations and yeah, this girl's taking 3 dicks in the ass. Justin Bieber, what the fuck?
Wait, did Justin Bieber do anything with him? Was that
I heard
confirmed?
he was tossed around by other guys and
Oh
other
no,
people. Yeah, I mean, and everything's being recorded. There's like hundreds of video cameras. There's thousands of baby oil bottles, and then there's 700 dildos, and then there was tunnels underneath the mansion leading to Michael Jackson's house, the Playboy Mansion
what?
house, and other celebrities' houses. And they found
What the?
like children's underwear in some of these tunnels and shit. Like,
Oh my
holy fuck,
God.
nuts! So again,
What?
like it seems like celebrities get like a godlike status where
Yeah,
like they feel like they're demigods and they really
yeah,
can't be touched. Like Trump is a great example of that. I mean, the motherfucker's getting
yeah.
shot at for God's sake, and he's like, "I'm God." You know what I'm saying?
You
But
on
no,
social media, I can't handle it.
yeah,
God
no,
damn.
and just it's crazy. So yeah, so you think he thought he could have paid the government off on what he's being charged? Because I think he offered $50 million to be get out of jail. They're like, hell no.
Yeah,
We want you to sing like a canary.
right. Yeah,
So
it sucks that they can just pay whatever crazy bail and they're
yeah,
not worried about
exactly.
it. Yeah, I
But
don't
this
like that.
is I think this is the new this is good. I think this is where you some of these people just can't be like gods because it's gonna end up. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of it. There's murders. There's gotta be. There's people have this got their shit. After a hardcore orgy, she's gonna like, I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell. Oh yeah, you gonna tell, bitch. She's
Oh,
gone.
there has to be
Yeah.
murders involved. I'm sure when they
Oh
go down
my
the rabbit
god.
hole.
Find tons
Yeah.
of girls with anchors strapped to their legs in the waters.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be surprised.
And yeah, no,
That's
it's just yeah, it's weird. And again, with celebrities at that, like, your whole career down the drain. Like Ellen the DeGeneres is tied in this shit too, and like Jay-Z is on the
wow.
run. Do you know that? They can't
You
find
don't
him
know
right
that?
now.
What do
He's
you
on the
do?
run because he was buddies with Diddy,
Oh
and
my God.
Beyonce is getting on the heat too because she might be and she might have been involved with some of these sex parties and uh,
Wow.
Jennifer Lopez with some of these sex parties. My God, I'm like, where the hell was I? Why was I invited?
Why did you get that there?
I'm as cool as Howard Stern, for God's sakes.
Maybe someday,
Maybe maybe someday I get there.
there's no lack of freaks in Hollywood. You'll get there.
Yeah. I'll stick
Oh,
with
hey,
the.
did you want to talk about telekinesis? Because I'm very
Yes.
passionate.
Yes. Can
Okay.
we? Yes.
All right.
What do you want? What
So,
you have some telekinesis yourself?
well, back when I was 18, 19 years old, I was great with the psi wheel. Do you know what a psi wheel is?
I do not. Tell me more.
Oh my gosh, okay. So take take like a small piece of paper and it
All
has to
right.
be like a square, and then you would fold it diagonally and diagonally so that it can freely
Oh,
twist.
okay. Oh,
And
I think
so, because you don't want
okay.
it hitting anything. And
Right,
you
right,
can put it on a needle, and then you put that needle in like wax or clay or something. This is a psi wheel.
right. Okay.
So the psi wheel is the best way to start your telekinetic training.
Okay.
So um, I've I don't know if you've no, you're not really that into telekinesis yet, but there's someone called Guide. I think she's called Guide of Limitless Truth on YouTube.
Okay.
You should check her out because I've seen a lot of fakes out there, but she is so legit. So legit.
Cool.
And the reason I know she's legit is because the advice she gives is spot on to what I used back when I was 18 or 19 to learn how to use the side wheel.
Okay. Cool.
And I was pretty alone in trying to learn how to perform telekinesis because there's very little data out there. There's no book that shows you how to. There are few resources. So I I learned how to do this essentially by myself. But the side wheel, essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to spin this wheel with just the power of your mind. Initially,
Right.
you can use your hands because as humans, we are so used to using our hands to manipulate objects around us physically. So initially, you can use your hands, you put them by the side wheel. And the trick to it, and you should totally try it, Dustin.
I will. I'm
Um,
after this.
yeah, the trick to it is, and it takes some practice. First and foremost, like I was saying earlier in the show, you need a certain healthy amount of insanity to even attempt this and to successfully move something with your mind. Moving
Sure.
something with your mind essentially is manifestation. Um, Manifestation is the same thing. You envision something and you put that plan into action. So before you get started, one of the things that helps is a meditation. But I've heard people say like, "Oh, you should meditate and you should just clear your mind or whatever." And maybe that works for them. But I did a very specific type of meditation where essentially my body disappears and there is no
Oh,
difference between my body or this wall or the floor or the clothes I'm wearing. There is no body. I did a meditation where I had to essentially just imagine my mind and my energy, and there is space I can manipulate, including my body. So that's the type of meditation you have to do to be able to move things with your mind. Secondly, the use of the hands is not actually super important, but maybe when you get started, it's probably important just for your mindset. So you have to feel the object as though it's your own limb. Um,
huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I'm going along with that.
you have to also, it's really important to envision it spinning and also spin it yourself so that you get the feeling of the object spinning. You have to feel it.
Okay.
It's so hard to explain. When it's happening and when you're moving it, Justin, it's going to feel like an extension of yourself.
Huh.
You don't focus on moving something. You don't focus on moving your arm. You just move your arm because of
Right.
an electrical impulse and the neurons
Right.
are firing. In the same way, like I can feel my arms moving right now.
Right.
You can feel that paper moving and spinning. You can feel
Oh.
it like an extension of your limb.
Huh.
Um, so I got to the point where I got it spinning really well with my hands there. But the biggest reason I say you have to have a healthy amount of insanity to do this is because we're all trained from birth to believe that you cannot move objects with your mind. They say that brainwaves are not strong enough. You can't do it. Anyone can do it. You have to get rid of that block. That block is the reason you can't do it.
Yeah.
Almost primarily the reason why you can't move anything with your mind and with your electromagnetic field or whatever it is because you have a block. saying you can't do it. You get rid of that and you say, fuck society, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want. Fuck the matrix. You can do whatever you want to do. So I got it to the point where I was spinning it really well. And then you have another block. Like when you put your hands down, it's another block saying, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you can do it. So then I do it without hands and I got it spinning really well. And then another block was like doing it from across the room. That's a huge block. You're going to feel like you can't do it. I got to the point where I was spinning it from across the room. And then the biggest block is spinning it with a glass case over it. If you can
Huh.
get past that block, you're in pretty good shape.
Wow. Not I was always interested in the telekinesis, but again, not super heavily involved in researching it. But I was always curious about it as a kid. And I've seen the videos. I forgot where this Russian woman back in the 1940s was moving with shit with her mind. They were putting glass shit over it, and she's
Yeah.
moving matches and shit, and like just stuff that's like not like magnetic. You know what I'm saying? She's like,
Mhm.
but she's sitting there, using her
Oh yeah.
amazing. Again, she's just focused and like to see it
Mhm.
from back then is even more compelling to me because it's like there's no Photoshop and
Oh,
there's no like editing, you know what I'm saying?
right.
And this woman from Russia was claiming that they have the powers and stuff like that. And it kind of reminds me of Carrie, the movie. You ever
Oh
seen that?
yeah. Carrie's
How
what people think of when they think of
that was
television.
great too.
Yeah.
Like how she figure out she has telekinesis, and then she goes to the library to study more about how to unlock it more. I was just like, that is
Yeah.
so awesome and genius. And then it reminds me of another movie too. When you were talking, was Lucy. Have you ever seen Lucy?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's been a while, but that
Yeah,
was another good one.
another great concept. Like we are very capable of opening up our minds. We only use our minds what 10%,
Yeah.
and like there's the dolphins that use their minds about 15%. That's why they use echolocation, a form of
Oh,
telekinesis and
see?
other uh, communication with each other using the sound and clicks and using their brain waves.
Right.
Um, yeah, again, if we can, again, like you said, just like fuck what you're, there's
Fuck what
something
you're
there
told.
that's blocking, you can overcome that block, but
Oh
it
yeah.
takes practice and focus, meditation, and yeah, you can get there. And then I do believe that. I mean, I've seen other videos and I've seen other people who claim they can move stuff with their minds. Yeah, again, these people who actually sit and focus and do that for a living to get their mind to that point because they have this little inkling knowing that they have the power to do that. And
Right.
again, it is for somebody who maybe is skeptic and is just like, well, it's going to try it. We'll only just try it for a little bit and give up probably. But the people who are
Right.
actually have this, like you said, you found yourself unlocking stuff and you're moving this thing. And you're like, holy fuck, look at me. It's an extension.
It's an extension of yourself. All matter is an extension of yourself, and your electromagnetic field can
Right.
manipulate the world around you. Don't think that it
Well,
can't. Just because
that's
science doesn't understand it yet
yes,
doesn't mean
I
you
agree
can't
with you.
do it. You know,
And
you can
it's
feel the block. It's right here. This is where the block is. Where when I'm feeling the object move, I'm feeling a tingling back here.
sure. And then like I was when you said like um it's almost like unlocking and unfolding your own destiny once you get into this subject or even like whatever you're doing. You're right. You're kind of manipulating everything into your favor. Like
Yes.
how I'm finding myself doing this. I was just interested in myself having my own personal experience of seeing a UFO back in 2012 got my interest into what I'm doing now. Where it's like I just want answers. I'm just on this quest of figuring out why we're here, what's going on, why do so many people experience seeing lights in the sky or seeing ghosts in their house or seeing Bigfoot in the woods or in other cryptics and other or how humans think in general, like other crazy
Right.
serial killers and shit. Like
Right.
that's like that. Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm gonna go fuck this dead dude here. you
Another
know,
mystery of life, Jeffrey
Another
Dahmer.
mystery of life, right? Just down that dirty hole there. Oh man, but yeah, it just makes you wonder. But no, like steering your own destiny. Yeah, I find myself doing that too. Like how I found myself having this podcast and meeting so many cool people like yourself and just having fun with it, and just being myself.
Yeah.
And again, it's filling a hole that I had with music. Um, just I love the spotlight and having fun and having other people that agree with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
love it.
cool.
You got some magic in you, Dustin. I can see
Do
it.
you?
You're
Is it
going
sparkling all
places.
over the place?
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Well, man, I really can't wait for future uh episodes with you co-hosting with me, because I think it's just gonna be a blast for you and me just to bounce off ideas with other people. It's easier for me because sometimes it does get a little one-sided where I'm just like I think everything is off the top of my head anyways.
Right,
And
right.
I like that's why I hate shit that's structured, because I've been on podcasts where everything has to be, we're gonna start with this subject and we're gonna do that, and you're gonna no cussing, no. And I really have to watch my P's and Q's, shit. Like I rather have
Yeah,
my own podcast where I just feel free, and I want my guests to feel free and use whatever they want to use, and be as controversial as they want, and,
I
and be
love
as
that.
and be as provocative as they want.
I
So
love the freedom.
yes.
I'm all about freedom.
Yeah, and then again, I just can't wait to have you introduce you to some really cool people that are in the field, and that'll just be intrigued to get to know who you are and get to see your work and to support your stuff. And I want you to like, now you're a co-host with us, you can even use our platform to promote your stuff, like your,
Once I
let's
get
see,
going with my YouTube channel, I
yeah,
would
no, I'm
love
saying
to
like,
talk about
no,
that.
I'm
But
saying
yeah,
like promote your YouTube channel on our stuff. Just use our podcast as an umbrella. Just think of it that way. So
yeah,
we want your projects to be under us too, so we can help promote and get your name out there. It is hard. That's how we all do it
yeah.
together. Like we all network with each other. That's how I'm like really good friends with other podcasters, and we just kind of just go off each other's podcasts, and we actually steal each other's guests too. So like,
Nice.
so um yeah, so that's how it works. So
Well, I am
yeah,
so honored.
yeah. So I mean, again, I'm very excited. Maybe we can wrap it up for now. So I think if people
All
got
right.
to get to know who you are, and you'll
Yeah.
definitely be back in future episodes. And
Send me the schedules and everything, and we'll work it
yes,
out.
yes. Well, awesome. Well, hey, can you stick with me for 2 more minutes?
Yes.